Hi guys, welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. You join me in the Callaway fitting suite here at the Belfry. We are going to do a video looking at the backswing and more specifically how we're going to rotate these hips in the backswing to give you better golf shots. We are going to do this initially without a golf club because we just want to get a real good understanding of what's actually going to happen in the hip area, and we're going to need 2 alignment sticks to do this. So let me just grab those. So just 2 alignment sticks. In fact, you don't even need 2. Just one would be good, and then just a golf club or something similar that we can place on the ground. So 1 alignment stick is going to go on the ground. I'm just going to try and hopefully get this pretty much square onto the camera. Maybe a little bit to the right. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to set up with that stick right between your heels. Okay. So don't worry about the toes. Just get it right in the middle of the heels. That's really, really important. We have to get this quite specifically correct, okay? So that's my starting position. What we're then going to do is get the other alignment stick and we're going to pop the one end and I'm just going to pop it into the mat in this case, or obviously if you're outside it's going to be just into the ground, and just start to push it into the ground a little bit. It's just got a little bit of resistance. The other end, we're going to pop, in my case, it's going to be into my belt buckle or just bottom of my belt buckle, or about that area, so right in the middle of your hips, okay? What we're going to then do is we're going to just put a little bit of pressure on the stick, just so it holds it in place. So as I take my hands away now, you're going to see that that stick is nicely supported between the ground and my belt. Now, as I look down, from my view, that red stick is right on top of the white one that's on the ground. So that tells me initially that my hips are in good position at setup. Some of you may find that at the setup, you have your hips maybe a little bit to the right, so you can't see it from the camera angle, but I'll probably show you. That stick is looking as if it's to the right of the one that's on the ground. Some of you, this is less common, might have the hips too far forward. So I can see here that this red stick is forward of the white stick on the ground. So I wouldn't mind if the hips were a little bit forward, certainly with an iron. So I can see this red stick is just fractionally forward of the one on the ground that's there. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I don't want to get them back or too far forward, okay? So, once we've checked our setup, we can then check how we are rotating into the backswing, okay? I want you to feel that you're going to place your hands across your shoulders, okay? And you're going to make what you would feel is a full rotation into your backswing. Now, if I do this correctly, the red stick should stay about, keyword there is about, it's not going to have to be perfect, on top of that white one that's on the ground. So let's have a go. So hopefully from your camera angle there, you'll be able to see whether I can do this. So I'm going to make a good, solid rotation. Okay, and you can see there that that stick hasn't really moved much at all. Okay, that's going to give me the good feedback that I've made a good, solid rotation. Okay, do that again for you. So I'm still applying a little bit of pressure. So as I rotate back, okay, I can see that's a really, really good pivot, and I've managed to keep that stick nice and still. What do I tend to see quite commonly? Well, I would often see very, very early in that golf swing, that red stick moving off to the right, okay? Visually from here, and probably from where you are, that has definitely moved, okay? I can see that's quite considerably moved to the right. That's going to give me the indication that I've actually not turned too well. I feel here that I've loaded too much weight into my trail leg, okay? So that's maybe the feeling we want to try and avoid. So I'll just show you that wrong one again. So from here, we're going to turn back, and you can see how that's caused this red stick to move too much across there. That's probably a little bit of lateral movement of the pelvis away from the target, and that's going to cause issues later in the golf swing. I don't tend to see this as common, but you may well find that as you're turning, you're actually going towards the target. I said that's very uncommon, so probably chances are you're not going to fall into that category. But what we want to do is use this drill just to practice making some good rotations, okay? Some really good rotations. It'll give you the good idea of what you're trying to do as you make your backswing. Okay, you can, if you want, grab the golf club and do this with the golf club. Now, often the stick is often where the golf club would be, so you maybe have to kind of hover it to begin with. But I can start to make that same move with a golf club and start to generate the idea of what I'm trying to do in my golf swing. That, to me, feels pretty good. That feels like a good rotation, okay? So a little bit of pressure on the stick, turn back. Now, as we start down, we don't mind, in fact, we a little bit encourage a little bit of a lateral movement. So again, from the camera, you can probably see that red stick is moving slightly target side of the one that's on the ground. So there's a really good feel for me. Okay, I can't really go much more than that because the stick will move out of the way. So a good golf swing would keep that red stick above the one that's on the ground. A good start to the downswing would cause it to go slightly target side of it, not too much. And I feel now there's a little bit more pressure through my lead leg. So quite a simple drill to do, but it gives you some really, really good feedback. And effectively, when we practice, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to practice with feedback, and that really enhances the learning process and helps us progress a little bit quicker because we can ensure that we're creating the right fields as opposed to maybe the wrong fields, which often golfers do without really knowing it. Once you've done a couple of the drills, grab a golf club and try and recreate it. So I'm going to try and imagine that I'm trying to keep that stick in line with the one that's on the ground and just go back. Okay, that was a pretty good shot. I'd be pretty happy with that. I'll just show you from a slightly different angle so you can kind of see what we're trying to do. Okay, not quite as good a contact, but still pretty good. So it's one of the best drills I've found to give the golfer a good awareness of the hips. Often we see some movement in here that we don't really desire, and often golfers aren't aware of that. That drill is brilliant for giving some awareness to the golfer, and often I'll just set that up for them and just leave them have a go for a couple of minutes, and they start to sort of figure it out for themselves, create some good feels, start to realise what's happening. Maybe the trail leg starts to straighten a bit, which is okay. Left knee starts to kick in a bit more. All these things we want to try and get a good feel for and try and get a good understanding of what's happening when we make that good turn. Have a go. All you need is a stick, something on the ground. A golf club would be fine. If you've got 2 alignment sticks, that's absolutely fine. And have a go. See what happens. See if you can create the good feels. See if you fall into one of the categories that we maybe want to try and avoid. And hopefully maybe you can work towards some better positions in that rotation, in that pivot. And that's going to help you play some better golf. Okay. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know in the comments box, and you can also click the like button. That really helps me a lot. And there's a subscription button as well in the description. You can click that, and that's going to get you free subscription to my page. Just means that you won't be sending the videos. You'll just get an email notification every time I upload one. So well worth doing, and we will see you again next time.